Okay, so there we have it pretty well put together, and we need to now hem the edges. Now, if you are lucky and you have a really nice machine or serger, my mom put this one together, and she just did a simple rolled hem around the edge to finish it off. It looks really nice on the gown, and it's just a piece of cake. Run it through the machine, finish off your edge, and you're done. I don't have a machine like that, so I have to hem the edges and finish them off that way. So you're going to start just like we did when we made the arm sleeves. We need to fold over the edge of the fabric, iron it down, and get it ready to be hemmed. Okay, so I've got everything ironed now to do my seam. These rounded edges are a little bit tricky. You just kind of have to work with it, and the fabric will fold over itself a little bit in order to get, a nice rounded edge. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not certain why the pattern is longer in the front to the back, and it does make for a little bit of an awkward transition on the hem. So my feeling is if you feel like you want to kind of cut that off and either make a straight corner or cut that off and round the edge a little bit yourself, that's fine. It's not going to make that much difference in the way that the gown looks at the end. So once you start getting up here around the neck, it's a little bit more awkward to work with, but it's not too bad. The first couple of times is the hardest until you just get a feel for what it's like. Oh. See, even I screw up sometimes. I'm just remembering that this is the point where you need to put the other ribbon on. So let's back up a little bit. Back stitch that right there. We've got to get that pinned in. If we forget it, then we're going to have to go and unpick a little bit. So you're going to put the next ribbon, your other 11-inch strip of ribbon, is going to go into the hem. And when you put it in, you've got to put it in. Again, you need to measure, make sure you get it in the right spot. Then you're going to fold it over so that when you turn it, it's kind of awkward to see right here, but when you turn it, it'll be, if you don't fold it over, then when you turn, then the ribbon doesn't stick out, and then you have kind of a funky little thing. So let's quickly measure and get this ribbon put in so that we don't forget it. Okay, once you've got that pinned in, ideally you would have pinned that in before you started hemming so that you didn't have to stop in between, but now that we have it pinned in, we'll go on. This gets a little bit awkward because you can't leave your pin in, obviously, while you're sewing, or you'll break your needle. So you just got to get it in there the best that you can and go really slow over this little bit. Make sure that the ribbon is laying straight. If you have it kind of ski-wampus in there and you sew over the top of it, then that's the way it's going to look when you're done, and we don't want that. So you just got to do the best you can on this. Go slow and unpick if you need to. I unpick often, so. You can see my ribbon started to, sometimes I don't even use my pedal. I just go over that little bit, rolling the machine. Okay, I've got it hemmed. Now you can see this side looks so much better. This is where I kind of tried to turn that a little bit, and I got a nice little corner. On this side I just kind of let it be. I'm going to go back over that and fix it so that it does a little bit cleaner of a corner as well. Otherwise it just kind of hangs there and that looks really weird. So I just kind of folded that longer piece into a little corner over here and sewed it that way, and that seemed to work okay. So let me hurry and see if I can't make this side match. A little bit, not perfect, but I know better now for next time. So go ahead and clip all of your threads. This is the point in time where you want to, if you haven't been clipping all along, to go and just clean up any little threads that you've got hanging. Sometimes we get these donated and threads haven't been clipped. They just kind of are finished a little bit sloppily. And try not to do that. Take the time to finish it up. Remember that this is probably the only piece of clothing that these babies will ever wear. So we want them to look nice and to be, just to be finished off nice. At this point, if you have any scrap fabric left over, if you have enough to make a matching blanket, we love that. It's wonderful to get kits that come together with a matching gown and blanket so that we don't have to try and piece them together with blankets that have been donated and maybe have patterns that don't match. And so if you have enough fabric to do that, we love to have kits that come complete. If you don't and you just have a few little scraps, you can make pads if you'll refer to the instructions online. There's some instructions for making little pads. At this point, just go ahead and quickly press. Okay, and there you have it. There's your finished gown. These are awesome gowns. They make it so easy for us to get the baby's dressed because we don't have to turn the baby over and try and reach ties and fasteners in the back. We can just lay these down, put the baby gently inside. One thing that I didn't do on this, but depending on your gown and the way that you choose to finish it, sometimes I'll put just a little piece of Velcro on the inside to just hold that down. If I just do a button, if you decide not to do the ribbon closure, you can always just take a button to, you know, a little bit of embellishment. If you're really good and you want to put lace around the edges, obviously not on a boy one, but there's lots of little things you can do to embellish these and just make them cute and sweet. I've found myself that I like the Velcro that's heat adhesive, so you just iron it on and it seems to hold really well. I don't have to worry about trying to stitch it on and have stitch marks on the outside, and it can be a little bit tricky to find, but it is worth the hunt. It works really well, it's easy to work with, and it holds together really well. So there you have it, kimono style gowns.